Our planet is a misnomer. We call it Earth, yet over 70% of its surface is concealed beneath a veil of liquid sapphire, the ocean. It is the cradle of all life, a boundless, breathing entity that dictates the climate, sculpts the continents, and holds mysteries older than the mountains. From the sun-drenched shallows of the coral reefs to the freezing, eternal night of the abyssal plains, the ocean is a realm of unimaginable beauty and unparalleled violence. To truly understand the scale of this aquatic universe, we must cast our gaze away from the safe, shallow coastlines. We must journey into the pelagic zone, the open ocean. Here, there are no borders, no hiding places, and no mercy. The water stretches for thousands of miles in every direction. A vast, three-dimensional desert of deep blue, where survival is dictated by size, intelligence, and the brutal laws of physics. In this realm of giants, one creature stands as a monument to the relentless power of evolution, gliding silently beneath the sunlit waves, casting a shadow that dwarfs the imagination, is the Physeter macrocephalus, the sperm whale. Behold this magnificent leviathan. A mature male can stretch over 20 meters in length, the size of a multi-story building, and weigh an astonishing 50.00 kilograms. It is a mountain of flesh, bone, and highly specialized acoustic fat, moving with a grace that defies its immense gravity. And like the baleen whales that passively filter tiny krill from the water, the sperm whale is an active, apex predator. In fact, it is the largest toothed predator currently living on our planet, carrying a jaw lined with massive, conical teeth, each one weighing up to a kilogram. But to view the sperm whale simply as a brute force killing machine is to misunderstand the profound complexity of its existence. Look into its eye. It is remarkably small for a creature of such titanic proportions, yet it holds the ancient, quiet wisdom of a lineage that has survived for over 50 million years. Long before the first hominids walked upright on the African savannas, the ancestors of this whale made a profound evolutionary choice. They abandoned the solid earth. They traded their legs for flukes, their hands for fins, and returned to the embrace of the primordial sea. Over millions of generations, the ocean sculpted them. It stripped away everything unnecessary and engineered a biological masterpiece perfectly adapted to conquer the most hostile environment on Earth, the crushing, lightless depths. Perhaps the most astonishing achievement of this evolutionary journey lies hidden within its colossal, block-shaped skull. The sperm whale possesses the largest, heaviest brain of any known animal in the history of the Earth, weighing roughly 8 kilograms. This immense neurological processing power is not merely for survival. It is the foundation of a highly complex, alien intelligence. They possess deep emotional capacities, intricate social bonds, and a sophisticated language of rhythmic clicks called codas. They are self-aware beings, navigating an acoustic universe that we, as humans, can barely begin to comprehend. Yet, despite their profound intelligence and their peaceful existence near the sunlit surface, they are bound to a terrifying biological imperative. The surface is where they breathe, but the abyss is where they feed. The preparation for a hunt is a spectacle of physiological extreme. Hovering at the surface, the leviathan begins to hyperventilate. Through its single, S-shaped blowhole, positioned asymmetrically on the left side of its head, it aggressively expels mist and sucks in massive volumes of fresh ocean air. But it does not store this oxygen in its lungs as a human would. The lungs of a sperm whale are surprisingly small. Instead, it forces the oxygen directly into its bloodstream and deep into its muscle tissues, binding it to a specialized protein called myoglobin. Its flesh literally turns nearly black with stored, highly concentrated oxygen. It is transforming its own body into a biological submarine. The moment of departure is signaled with absolute majesty. The whale arches its massive back, throwing its colossal, 5-meter-wide tail flukes high into the air. Water cascades off the dark, scarred skin like a waterfall. And then, with a single, earth-shattering downward thrust of its tail, the 50.00 kilogram titan breaks the surface tension and begins its descent. It leaves the light, the warmth, and the air behind. It is diving straight down into the midnight zone, a world of crushing pressure and eternal darkness. The hunt for the ultimate monster has begun. The descent is a journey of sensory deprivation. As the massive leviathan points its head downward, gravity and momentum take over. At 200 meters below the surface, it enters the twilight zone, the vibrant, Warm colors of the world above the reds, the yellows. The bright greens are stripped away by the water, leaving only a cold, ghostly blue. By the time the whale passes 1.00 meters, the last scattered photons of sunlight die out completely. It enters the bathypelagic zone, the midnight zone, a realm of eternal, suffocating darkness. But the absence of light is not the most terrifying force at work here. It is the physics of water. For every 10 meters the whale descends, the pressure increases by 1 atmosphere. At these crushing depths, the weight of the ocean above presses down with a force of thousands of pounds per square inch. An unprotected human body would be instantly obliterated. Even a military submarine built of hardened steel would groan, buckle, and violently implode. Yet, the sperm whale survives through a masterpiece of evolutionary engineering. Its rib cage is entirely flexible. As the pressure mounts, the whale's chest simply collapses inward, safely compressing its lungs and forcing all remaining air out of the delicate alveoli to prevent nitrogen narcosis. It does not fight the crushing weight of the ocean. It surrenders to it, falling freely through the water column like a massive stone, surrounded only by a silent blizzard of falling marine snow. Down here, at 2.00 meters deep, the whale is completely, entirely blind. Its eyes, perfectly adapted to the dim light of the upper layers, are useless in this absolute void. But the leviathan is not lost. It transitions from a creature of sight to a creature of sound. It activates the true power of its colossal head. Inside the massive, blocky snout lies the spermaceti organ, a gigantic barrel filled with up to 1.90 liters of highly specialized, liquid wax. By forcing air through a pair of monkey lips near its blowhole, the whale generates an incredibly powerful acoustic click. This sound wave bounces backward off the frontal sac of its skull, travels forward through the amplifying spermaceti oil, and is focused into a concentrated, directional beam of sonic energy. It is the most powerful sound produced by any living animal on Earth, capable of reaching an astonishing 230 decibels. Click, click, click. The whale fires these sonic bullets into the pitch-black water. The sound waves race through the freezing abyss at 1.50 meters per second, traveling for miles. When the sound waves strike an object, a rock, a sunken shipwreck, or a creature of flesh, they bounce back. The returning echoes are received by the whale's lower jaw, which channels the vibrations directly into its highly sensitive inner ear. In the absolute darkness, the sperm whale is seeing with sound. It builds a flawless, three-dimensional topological map of the abyss in its mind. It patrols the bottom of the world like an organic submarine. The water temperature is nearly freezing, hovering just above 0 degrees Celsius. The only life forms here are bizarre, bioluminescent aliens. Anglerfish, gulper eels, and viperfish drift by like glowing phantoms. But the leviathan ignores them. They are too small. They are not worth the immense energy expended on this dive. The whale is searching for something specific, something massive. If you look closely at the heavily scarred, leathery skin around the whale's massive jaws, you will see a story written in violence. Jagged, circular white scars, some the size of dinner plates, cover its dark flesh. These are not scars from scraping against rocks. They are the permanent marks of suckers and hooks. They are the battle scars of a lifelong war. The whale adjusts its sonar. The steady rhythm of the click suddenly accelerates, merging into a rapid, buzzing sound known as a creak. The biological radar has locked onto a target. Far ahead in the impenetrable darkness, the sound waves have struck a colossal mass of soft tissue. It is not a whale. It is not a shark. The sonar signature reveals a massive, torpedo-shaped mantle and 10 long, trailing appendages. The prey has been found, but at 2.00 meters deep, the line between predator and prey is terrifyingly thin. Deep in the freezing void, sensing the acoustic shockwaves slamming against its skin, a sleeping giant stirs. To massive, highly intelligent eyes, the largest eyes ever to evolve on planet Earth, slowly open in the dark. The Kraken is awake, and the ultimate clash of titans is about to begin. To find the ultimate prey, the massive sperm whale has traveled to the most unforgiving waters on Earth, beneath the freezing, ice-choked surface of the Southern Ocean surrounding Antarctica. The abyss hides a phantom. Here, suspended in a zero-gravity void of freezing, black water at 2.00 meters deep, waits the Mesonicoteuthis hamiltoni, the colossal squid. This is not a myth. This is not a sailor's exaggerated tale of the Kraken. It is a biological reality of terrifying proportions. Weighing up to 500 kilograms and stretching up to 14 meters in length, the colossal squid is the heaviest invertebrate on the planet. Its thick, gelatinous body is the color of dried blood, a perfect camouflage in a realm where red light does not exist. But its most haunting feature is its vision. To survive in a world without the sun, the squid has evolved the largest eyes in the entire animal kingdom. Each eye is the size of a basketball, measuring nearly 27 centimeters across. These massive, forward-facing orbs act like giant light sponges, designed to capture the faintest, microscopic sparks of bioluminescence emitted by moving predators in the pitch-black water. It is a creature built to watch the darkness. While the sperm whale relies on raw, crushing power and acoustic technology, the colossal squid is a masterpiece of lethal bioengineering. It does not merely grab its prey with simple suction cups. The arms and the two massive feeding tentacles of the colossal squid are armed with a horrifying arsenal. They are lined with rows of razor-sharp, translucent hooks. Some of these hooks are rigidly fixed, designed to impale and hold. Others are mounted on swiveling bases, capable of rotating 360 degrees to tear and slice through the thickest flesh like biological buzzsaws. At the dead center of this writhing mass of hooked arms lies a massive, black, chitinous beak, incredibly sharp and powered by muscles strong enough to bite through solid bone. It is a perfect ambush predator. It hovers silently in the abyss, using the two massive, muscular fins on its mantle to hold its position, waiting for a meal to wander too close. But today, it is not the hunter. It is the hunted. The silent equilibrium of the abyss is suddenly shattered. Though it has no ears to hear, the sensitive, highly innervated skin of the colossal squid feels the physical impact of the sound waves. Invisible acoustic bullets, the sonar clicks of the descending sperm whale are slamming against its gelatinous body. The squid registers the sheer power of the acoustic impacts. It knows exactly what is coming. Instantly, its nervous system triggers millions of microscopic pigment cells called chromatophores. In a split second, the massive, 500-kilogram creature attempts to vanish. Its skin wildly fluctuates, draining the deep red pigment and turning a ghostly, translucent pale white, trying desperately to blend into the falling marine snow. But acoustic sonar cannot be fooled by an optical illusion. The whale does not need to see the squid's color. It only needs to hear the echo of its massive, solid flesh. Through the murky, freezing darkness, a massive shadow materializes. The 50.00-kilogram leviathan is closing the distance at terrifying speed. The acoustic clicks have now merged into a rapid, aggressive buzz, a creak, the final targeting sequence of the apex predator. The colossal squid realizes it cannot outswim the massive mammal. To turn and flee would expose its vulnerable mantle. It has only one option for survival. It must fight. The squid stops retreating. It violently raises its massive, thick arms, spreading them wide like a terrifying, hooked crown over its head. It exposes thousands of razor-sharp, swiveling claws to the oncoming darkness, preparing to unleash hell on the creature that dared to hunt it. Two titans of the earth, one driven by the need to breathe, the other born of the eternal abyss. They converge in the lightless void. The blind war has begun. The collision is not elegant. It is a brutal, high-speed car crash in the dark. The 50.00-kilogram leviathan rams the squid with the force of a freight train. But the Kraken does not yield easily. In a fraction of a second, the colossal squid wraps all 8 arms and 2 tentacles around the whale's massive head, clinging to it like a facehugger from a nightmare. This is the moment the squid's weaponry is unleashed. Hundreds of razor-sharp, swiveling hooks, each the size of a tiger's claw, dig ferociously into the whale's thick, leathery skin. They slice and tear, attempting to gouge out the whale's eyes, trying to inflict enough pain to force the attacker to retreat. The whale roars in silence, thrashing its massive head back and forth in the black water, trying to shake off the burning agony of 1,000 needles. But the whale has a weapon the squid cannot fight: sound, focusing all the power of its spermaceti organ. The leviathan unleashes a point-blank acoustic bang. It is a concentrated blast of sonic energy, over 230 decibels, fired directly into the squid's sensitive body. The shockwave hits the invertebrate with the force of a physical punch. The squid's delicate nervous system is overloaded. It is momentarily stunned, its grip loosening for just a fraction of a second. In that instant of weakness, the battle becomes a chaotic tumble. The two titans, locked in a death spiral, thrash wildly in the zero-gravity void, stirring up a storm of bioluminescent plankton that litters the darkness with terrifying, ghostly flashes of blue light. Desperate, the squid tries to bring its massive, bone-crushing beak to bear, snapping wildly at the whale's hide. But it is fighting a losing battle against physics. It is a 500-kilogram invertebrate pitted against a 50.00-kilogram mammal made of solid bone and muscle. The whale uses its sheer, immense mass as a weapon, crushing the squid against its skull, squeezing the life out of it. The hooks steer deeper, but the whale ignores the pain. The need for oxygen is growing, but the need to feed is stronger. Finally, the opening appears. The sperm whale opens its narrow, undersling jaw, lined with 40 conical teeth. With a savage snap, it clamps down onto the squid's thick mantle, severing its brain stem. The struggle ceases instantly. The massive, hooked arms go limp, drifting uselessly in the current. The battle is over. Victorious, but bleeding and scarred, the leviathan holds its massive prize in its jaws. It turns its battered head upward, away from the abyss. The hunt is complete. Now, the long, agonizing ascent back to the world of light and air begins. The abyss does not surrender its secrets easily, and it rarely lets its intruders leave unscarred. With its massive prize secured in its jaws, the 50.00-kilogram leviathan turns its face upward. It has been holding its breath in the freezing, crushing dark for nearly an hour. Its oxygen reserves are almost entirely depleted. Its muscles are burning with lactic acid from the violent struggle. It begins the long, agonizing ascent. Rising through the midnight zone, passing the twilight zone, the crushing pressure slowly releases its grip. The oppressive blackness slowly gives way to indigo, then to a beautiful, glowing turquoise. And then, the triumphant breach. With a massive explosion of white water, the titan breaks the surface. It exhales violently, blowing a colossal spout of warm, misty air high into the golden sunlight. It is the sound of victory. It is the sound of life. Bathed once again in the warmth of the sun, the whale rests. It breathes deeply, replenishing the oxygen in its nearly black, myoglobin-rich blood. But as the clear water washes over its massive, block-shaped head, the true cost of the hunt is revealed. Etched into its thick, dark gray skin are fresh, brutal wounds, deep lacerations and perfect, circular gouges. These are the marks of the Kraken's swiveling hooks. They are not merely injuries. They are a biological ledger, a permanent record of a war fought in the dark. Every mature sperm whale carries these scars, a badge of honor worn by the only creature on Earth brave enough to challenge the ruler of the deep. As the leviathan consumes its hard-earned meal, the ocean's perfect ecosystem goes to work. Flocks of seabirds gather from miles away, diving into the water to snatch up the tiny scraps of squid flesh drifting to the surface. Nothing in the ocean is ever wasted. The death of a monster in the dark provides life for the creatures of the sky. As the sun sets, painting the sky in strokes of gold and purple, the leviathan continues its endless journey. It is a creature that bridges to worlds. It breathes the air we breathe. It feels the warmth of the sun we feel. Yet, it belongs to a realm we can barely comprehend. Far below the sparkling waves, the abyss remains silent, dark, and indifferent. It waits patiently for the titan's return. The clash between the sperm whale and the colossal squid is not just a battle for survival. It is a testament to the brutal, beautiful, and unrelenting power of evolution. It is a reminder that on this blue planet, the most epic stories are not told by humans. They are written in the scars of giants, hidden deep within the shadows of the sea.